My will was always greater than my difficulty. Everyone, today I am here in the city of Alpercata, and I came to visit a producer who has several new things here in his production. I want to see these innovations that he has implemented up close. You have already seen his video before. The development has been brilliant. He does everything right, and now he told me he has some news that I want to follow closely. Let's go and see a little bit of what's new in Wesley's production at the Straw Hat Farm. So let's get to the video, everyone. And look at that. Here is Wesley. Hi, Wesley. How are things? Doing very well, Rodrigo. Thank God. Another big Sunday here, isn't it? We only come here on Sunday to give you work. Laughs. But it's just our day-to-day routine. For a producer, there's no way around it, is there? No way. You can't stand still. And I see here that the farm is starting to look more beautiful. It's already landscaped with trees. It's already turfed in some areas, isn't it? And there are several new things since the last time I came here, right? Yes, Rodrigo, there are. We can't stand still, can we? It's not easy for us to do things. Our reality is very painful, but we can't stand still. You have to keep tackling some parts every now and then to try to get organized here. Everyone, this shed here is one of the first sheds he built, isn't it? It is already functional. Wesley has some projects here. We are going to talk and understand these projects of his. Tell me, how was the first bird you had? The first birds, how was your first contact? Were you already thinking about professional production? Did you raise another type of chicken? What was it like? Rodrigo, my family has roots in this. We came from the countryside, so it was never far from me. But during the pandemic, watching your videos, I looked to learn and go deeper. That's where the interest arose to combine pleasure with monetization, because we need to generate revenue. So that's where this pleasure was awakened in me to always be improving and seeking to produce well here in the countryside, and also look for customers to sell to. And then that interest arose. We are in Wesley's shed. These here are the new birds that he has in the production batch. Can we go in there to show the people? We need to sanitize. There's an overshoe there, I forgot. Here, Rodrigo, we always leave a shoe for each shed. Ah, yes, to avoid contamination. It's to minimize the risk as much as possible. It's the contamination I've already disinfected. We know that to start a business like this, which we don't know, right? Because you didn't know how to rear chickens professionally yet, did you? No, I didn't know. Were there moments at your beginning that you even thought about giving up? Did you have any losses that made you say, this isn't for me? There's always a challenge, isn't there? In anything we are going to do, if we let ourselves get down when that difficulty comes, then we stop. And what gave you the strength to continue even with these challenges? That's where you have to combine the will to do it and the pleasure. When the difficulty is too much, having that pleasure of doing things eases the situation a bit. And the small producer in Brazil, we know he doesn't have an easy life. Was there a moment here, even if it wasn't in chicken farming, that you took a big loss, that you went through a tough ordeal? I did. I had some setbacks along the way. I took a very big, significant loss, where I even started to feel more pressure in my head. And then the chickens were always helping me day to day to forget some bigger problems, and we keep going. At that beginning of your rearing, when you were still learning and understanding, I remember way back when you bought the pullets from me, didn't you? Were they the first birds you bought? It was 20 pullets, if I'm not mistaken. They were Embrapa and Azul. That was my beginning. Very slowly indeed. And I went to your house through your videos, showing content, and it awakened this desire in me. Then I looked into it, looked for your contact. You treated me very well, you and your sister Rayon. You treated me very well and got me started in this area. And that beginning, did you already know what you wanted, or were you just wanting to test it? No, I have the habit of putting everything I'm going to do in God's hands, and I let him direct me. And then we kept moving forward. I already had knowledge of the customers for the final point of the goods of our production. And then I observed this side here in producing because I knew I had an easier time over there. And we kept moving forward day by day, always trying to improve. Here, everyone, just so you understand his production. Let's show the nests here for people to see. Here these nests are closed, you mentioned earlier, to give you less work. That's right. We harvest 3 times a day. We open early at 9 a.m. when we come to feed. We feed early and open the nest because they sleep closed to reduce the labor of cleaning eggs and avoid chickens going broody. There are several issues we are reducing, so we come early, open the nests they're going to lay. At 9 a.m., we come and collect. I keep them open. At midday, I go in to do the second collection. Then I already start closing a number of nests because it also reduces the number of chickens that will lay after that time. Then I leave some open for them to lay, and I reduce the work with the other nests closed. Ah, I see. So he keeps the nest closed so as not to collect dirty eggs the next day. The biggest problem with leaving the nest open is that, isn't it? Collecting dirty eggs. And then you have to clean the egg or discard eggs because of it. So it makes management much easier. And chickens also have the instinct to enter the nest, so sometimes they go in, get it dirty, break eggs. It's a loss. So it reduces a lot of things. And your family, are they all rural producers? Your father is. Your wife works away. How is it? My wife helps, my boys are studying, but when there's a vaccination management, like Wednesday when we did fowl pox on the chicks, it's my boy who helps me. Yesterday during cleaning, my wife was here, my children. So it's a family farm. Was there a moment when you guys faced difficulty in rearing chickens, of not knowing how to do it or if it would work out? My will was always greater than my difficulty, but it has its moments. One day you arrive and think things are all right. The next day it seems like everything is wrong. But that's where the content you're always providing us on your channel comes in. It's a learning experience. The height of the drinker, chlorinated water, a balanced feed, a well-made feed, a clean drinker. In fact, we clean these drinkers weekly. There's a calendar I always follow every week. Environment disinfection, flame gun, drinker cleaning. Because it's not easy to deal with these chickens that stay loose. It's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff, like you saw there, the overshoe to enter each separate shed. These are details that reduce the risk of something more serious happening. And what was the first victory you had here in your production that you said, whoa, now this is going to work, and celebrated a lot? Rodrigo, it was the quantity. I started with very little, but I saw it was possible. When I started to put in the number of birds that I saw could maintain their expenses and my cost of living, then I started to feel light. And every update I make seems like little, because my customers, thank God, I manage to increase little by little. So I always have to be updating the quantity of batches to meet the needs of my customers. And do you remember the first month you actually made a profit? When you said, now I've stopped spending and I'm having my first profit? I remember. In the first months and years that I started, I didn't touch that production cash. I kept investing. Before it was just one shed, now I already have 2, and I continue to build funds to increase more with the production's own money. So you're thinking of expanding here? I'm already going to expand, God willing. I'm already going to start construction. Everyone, look how brilliant. This here is the batch that is in the highest production, right, Wesley? It's the main batch. How many weeks old is it? 75 weeks is the other shed we're going to. This one we're in now is 41 weeks. 41 weeks. How do you record these data? I update every week. I put it on my phone, and on Friday I transfer it to my planner. You transfer it to the planner to have that control. That's brilliant. And here there are some details. Look, he has the automatic drinker, hyper clean. I'm sure it's not just because we came here. He really keeps everything clean. And another point, everyone, the feeder, he put a bag here. Look at this great tip. Why did he put the bag? So the chickens don't get inside, right? The old feeders had a little plate on top. I don't like them because the chicken steps on top, lies down and stays there. I even improvised with cardboard, but they would stay perched. And when perching, they shake the feed, it falls and bothers the others. And with this bag here, they can't jump. Look at that. A cheap, simple, zero-cost improvisation that solved the problem. To put the feed in, you just lift here. They don't defecate inside or bring dirt to the feeder. Let's see the next batch, which is the oldest. This batch here is a little bit older, isn't it? Yes, this one is 76 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. And its production, do you have the data? I have it here. This batch of about 140 chickens produced yesterday, Saturday, 117 units. Look at that, and the eggs are here. Today we haven't harvested yet. We also have a visitor here, Zé Antonio. I brought Zé Antonio here because he has his production there and wants to learn a bit. He wants to expand too. I said, I'll take you to the place of the guy who started just like you, slowly, and who is already with a larger quantity, organized for you to see. I even came running, laughs. Whoever is starting out has to stick with someone who is already walking. Only in theory we don't learn. You have to see the practice of the partner who has been at it for about 3 years and is having a future. We want to follow that path. You have to walk with those who are walking. And what did you think of what you heard here? I really like the production and the amount he makes monthly. The guy has 90% production in this cold season with 76 weeks. 76 weeks, and with that rate, it's really very good because the chickens are already in the final process. A few months have passed and we returned here to Wesley's to see how the gift he won went, if he already installed it, and if everything is okay. His structure is back there. Let's take a look because he was having problems with humidity and too much sun, and now with the rain it would be a problem. Let's see. Wesley is here setting everything up. How are things, Wesley? Hi, Rodrigo. Everything is good, thank God. Coming back here to see the installation of the tarpaulins. It improved a lot, didn't it? It improved. It solved my problem. You were here and gave me this gift. I'm grateful. It was very useful. I was having a lot of problems with humidity and ventilation in this colder phase. The tarpaulin doesn't just solve the cold. He had a problem with excessive humidity in the environment. Birds going through this cold decrease laying, don't they? Everything reflects in the production. And not just the humidity, the sun hitting the shed directly is also a problem. And now with the rain it would be worse because humidity inside the shed has to be 0. With high humidity you have to change the bedding constantly and the birds get sick. The result is in the laying. A management or structure error influences demand and you can lose the customer. The customer can't look for another supplier. You have to have consistency of production to keep the customer. An advantage of the yellow tarpaulin is that it lets the lighting through. If you put a dark one, it would be all dark and you'd spend on light. They wouldn't understand the time. They would look for a corner and wouldn't eat. The yellow tarpaulin lets light in. There are options of yellow or blue tarpaulin. The yellow one brings thermal comfort and lets light through. The blue one gives tranquility, used in meat birds. For laying, yellow is better so they eat more. In regions with a lot of wind or rain, you close it and it doesn't influence. The tarpaulin curtain is necessary because we have several periods throughout the year. August is the month of gales. Everything has its meaning in poultry farming. With this gift from Lonax, Wesley's shed is complete. Quality tarpaulin is with Lonax. I thank you for the gift to Wesley. Satisfied now? Very satisfied, Rodrigo. Quality product that solved my problem at the right time. That's it, everyone. Thanks, thank you, and until the next video. If this story of overcoming in the field changed the way you see rural production, subscribe to the channel and leave your like. We are bringing the reality of the work that many try to hide. Let's cultivate the future together. The next chapter of this journey will open soon.